Hi everyone. I wanted to do an announcement just on exam one. Um, there were really no wonderful grades. There were people who did better than others, but I would say for the most part, we want to definitely improve on exam one. But I do want to make some comments because I don't want you to give up. And I know that some of you might be thinking about it. You know, I haven't heard that from anybody, but just looking at the grades. So definitely don't do that. Don't give up. And let me tell you a few things that I'm going to do to help you increase your grade. And I don't hardly, I mean, I really, this is not something I do very often, but as far as extra credit. But I think for this exam that it is fair to do that. So if you will, complete your study guides and turn them in. I've had a student to do that. So I've had one student to do that, and so you don't have to um, turn yours in a second time. But complete the chapter 2 and the chapter 3 study guide. Um, I also am going to give you the answer. You still have to turn it in, but I'm going to look at chapter 3, and one of these questions turned out to be one of the essay questions on the exam. And so I'm going to give you the answer, but you still have to do it and turn it in. So describing the stages of mitosis. If you had done that and gotten all of the parts, all of the events that happened during these stages correct, then you would have been okay on that essay question about prophase and telophase. So I definitely want to go through all the stages and tell you what happens. You can look at the pictures on your own and read these descriptions and try to make sense of it. But the main thing is to help you to answer that essay question. Let's start with prophase. Okay, so one thing that happens in prophase is that the chromosomes, well, the chromatin, because the DNA is all spread out in a form called chromatin. It's uncoiled and spread out and does not have much of a shape to it. So the chromatin condenses and forms chromosomes. And the chromosomes are those X-shaped structures. They're actually two rods that are attached at the center, and they look like the letter X. So the chromatin condenses and forms chromosomes. The nuclear envelope disappears, and the nucleolus. So that means basically it looks like there's not a nucleus anymore. Okay, the spindle fibers begin to form. And the centrioles move to opposite poles of the cell. Okay, so then in metaphase, here, let me move down one. The chromosomes line up at the metaphase plate. Oops. In anaphase, the sister chromatids, that would be each of the rods that form a chromosome, they separate. So the sister chromatids separate and they begin moving toward opposite poles of the cell. And then in telophase, if you go back to prophase and just reverse everything, instead of the chromatin condensing and forming chromosomes, we say the chromosomes uncoil and form into chromatin. The nuclear envelope and nucleoli reappear. The spindle fibers dissolve or disappear, and then the centrioles just move back to random positions. within the cell. Okay, so that would be the answer for number 11. You'll need to go back and do all the other questions, and you'll also need to go back and do the study guide for chapter 2. There was not one for chapter 1, so you're okay. So study guide for chapter 2 and chapter 3, and I will give you 10 points each. And this is a huge amount of points, but this was a very low scoring exam, and I want you guys to start out well and not start out with a failure mindset. The next thing is I just want you, after you get this done, I want you to focus on the new material and don't worry about this exam. It's over and done with, and you will get some extra points on it. And I am going to do 2 things differently. I'm going to give you more time and less essay questions, and I think that will help. The other thing I wanted to mention about the exam is there were many of you that would skip a question and not answer it, and you cannot do that on these exams. This exam does not allow you to go back to a question. And that is because it's an online class, and it's to prevent, people from looking up the answers and that kind of thing. So you do have to answer the question before you move on to another question. But I want you to do these study guides, get your extra points, and then I want you to worry about the new material and do your very, very best, and you're going to be fine. Doing the study guides is going to help you do well on the next exam. And I'm working on the new material for chapter 6 right now, and the study guide for chapter 6 and all that. So and your lab practical that's coming up is going to help tremendously. If you do well on that, and students do tend to do better on that than they do on the exams. So like I would say to my son who plays baseball, shake it off, but get these study guides turned in to me, because I will give you points for completing the study guides correctly. Okay, and then email me. I'm surprised at the low scores and very, very few emails. Don't give up on this class, because you can definitely improve, and you can definitely still be successful. There's plenty of major grades left. So that first exam, it doesn't even matter what you made on it. You still mathematically can get an A. So I want to make sure you heard that correctly. You still mathematically can score an A in this class. So you guys, please don't give up, and please communicate with me if you're concerned. I still think if you will do the things that I ask you to do, that you can be successful in this class. So that's it for today. Happy Monday. And just again, email me if you have any questions or concerns.